If you are insecure, guess what? The rest of the world is too. So don't overestimate your competition and underestimate yourself. You're better than you think. Tim Ferriss. Tim is the author of 5 New York Times bestselling books like The 4-Hour Workweek and Tribe of Mentors. He's spoken on the TED stage multiple times, and the New York Times have called him a crossover between Jack Welch and a Buddhist monk. And that's exactly why on this week's episode of MasterTalk, we're breaking down one of the most thoughtful leaders and world shapers that we have in today's society. So let's get into it. Number 1, experiment your ideas on yourself. Tim is known to many as the human guinea pig. He's tried so many different strategies about life and high performance on himself before recommending them out to books and novels and pieces of work to you. And what's fascinating about Tim's work, especially in an interview he did with Tom Bilyeu when he talked about Tribe of Mentors, his book that hit the New York Times bestseller list, that book was initially 10,000 pages, and he had a lot of trouble simmering it down to a few hundred because he was literally cutting strategies that had worked for him that he wanted to share to other people. And I found this super interesting because when we experiment ideas on ourselves, the conviction that we have when speaking them out into the world is a lot more powerful. Take this YouTube video right now. If I wasn't skilled or if I didn't try public speaking coaching with other people before I started this channel, my conviction with my ideas would have been a lot less powerful. That's why I implore you to start thinking about how can we apply the ideas that we have to share with the world to ourselves first or a close group of friends, so that it gives us the confidence to share our ideas with conviction to the world in the same way Tim Ferriss has done countless times over. Number 2, simplicity is the greatest sophistication. This is a very famous quote from Leonardo da Vinci about how when we simplify ideas, this is what leads to an understanding of how it actually works or how people can actually apply it. And Tim is probably the best example in the world of someone who communicates with so much simplicity. I'll give you an example. His book titles, The 4-Hour Workweek. Do you want to work for 4 hours a week and make a living? Read this book, The 4-Hour Chef. Do you want to learn how to cook in less than 4 hours? And even his podcast is called The Tim Ferriss Show. So he doesn't really like to complicate things, all the way from his TED Talks to when he speaks out ideas in other mediums. And there's so much sophistication there because of how simple his languaging is. A lot more people are attracted to his message. So a question you always want to be asking yourself when you're conveying ideas is, how can I communicate this in a way that a 5-year-old can understand it, literally? And the more 5-year-olds who can understand what you have to say, the easier it is for your message to scale. I do this at an extreme level where I actually coach kids on public speaking. And in that context, it becomes very challenging because when I say something like, hey everyone, I need you to work on your introduction or your conclusion, a lot of the kids in the class go, Brendan, what's an introduction? What's a conclusion? So I have to simplify even that part of my message, and it holds me accountable to simplicity. I want you to push the dial a bit more too on that. Take the ideas you have and try and communicate them to people who are much younger than you and see if they understand it. And most likely, they won't. So it'll force you to re-message, to rethink, to re-strategize how to share your ideas in a way that the whole world can hear your message. Finally, number 3, use the past to better explain the present. Even despite Tim's simplicity, he is not shy to use ancient philosophy and stoicism and other techniques and ideas from the past. But what I like about Tim's take on things is he uses the past to better explain today. And through those ideas it makes it easier for somebody like me to say, oh, I know how to implement that today, so I don't have to go back and read ancient philosophy because Tim has already done that. There are countless examples of how we can better use history to explain our ideas better. Another quick example I can give you right now with Steve Jobs is he used the BlackBerry to explain how the iPhone in 2008 was going to be different in the way that the phone was going to change from regular phone to smartphone. And the way that you can apply this in your presentation is start thinking about your past experiences, the stories that have happened in your life, and you can bring those stories back into the way that you present your ideas today. An easy way to do this is to think about a story that led to your idea. Why did you start talking about X subject? Why does that matter to you? And by understanding that why, you're easily going to be able to bring a personal story from the past to better explain your ideas today. As Tim says, do not overestimate your competition and underestimate yourself. You are much better than you think. Tim teaches us to follow our intuition and our curiosity, to simplify the messages that we care to teach so that we can reach millions of lives in the same way he has. And I encourage all of you to follow that same path. How can we start to implore and ideate some of the ways and how Tim has shared his ideas with the world so that we can too in the simplest of ways? As always, if you enjoyed this week's episode of MasterTalk, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well to see more videos like this. And if you know one person who wants to work 4 hours a week, be sure to send them this video so that they'll be one step closer to getting there. See you next time, everyone.